I tried flipping custom PCs for 3 months to see if anyone could randomly pick up this side hustle and be successful. But is PC flipping all it's cracked up to be? Well, I guess we'll see as you join me through every step of this 3 month journey. So, just before we get started, just a small disclaimer, this was filmed in fall 2024 last year. So, some of the information I give might be inaccurate as the market has shifted ever since the new graphics cards have came out. But I'm still releasing these series of videos because I do think the things that I've done and learned throughout this challenge can be still applied to this day. And if you wanted to get into PC flipping in 2025, I think this video can help you avoid the mistakes that I've done in this challenge. Also, another thing, in the beginning I referred to this as a 30-day challenge instead of a 3 month challenge because I underestimated how hard it would be to do PC flipping. So whenever you hear me refer to it as a 30-day challenge, just ignore it. Alright guys, it's day 1 of the 30-day PC flipping challenge, and I think all we gotta do today is look at the Facebook Marketplace and try to find some good deals, and if not, let's try to lowball some people. There are people on the Facebook Marketplace who price their items really high for used items, and they're getting really close to like brand new items, so we just gotta knock them down a few and hopefully it'll fit our margins. While I scroll on the marketplace for a couple of hours, let's go ahead and explain what exactly our goals are during these 3 months. I want to sell at least 3 PCs of different levels. I want at least 1 PC to be sold locally and another one specifically on Java because creators all over YouTube use this site and I want to experience it for myself. Another selling goal I have is to make at least $200 in profit from one sale as a motivation to hunt for the best priced items in my area. I would also like to complete a commission build. I don't see many creators who sell PCs doing commission builds, which is unfortunate as I think this would be a great way to build rapport and gain valuable reviews, especially for a local profile like on Facebook Marketplace. The last goal I have for this challenge is to earn the highly rated badge on my Facebook Marketplace profile, which would require me to get a 4-star rating or higher from at least 4 buyers. Now with all of our goals laid out, let's see what deals we were able to find. Alright guys, so I did find a couple of items on the Facebook Marketplace. I think I've sent out probably 8-10 offers today, and a couple of them already got back to me and we're gonna meet tomorrow. So we'll probably just cut till the next day and get those items. The first purchase of the challenge is a combo deal for a GPU and RAM sticks. We have 16GB of Corsair RGB Pro RAM at 3200 MHz. Initially, that's all I wanted to buy from the seller, but then he offered a GTX 1060 6GB card for $50, which was $5 less than his original $55 listing, so why not? I bought it. Later at noon, I met up with another seller at McDonald's to purchase this H270 MSI Tomahawk motherboard for $40. I'm getting this older motherboard because back at home I have a 6th generation Intel CPU that I'm planning to use to jumpstart this challenge. Right after getting the motherboard, I went to pick up this Fantex case at some guy's garage for $50, and he ended up selling me a 1000-watt EVGA PSU and a Corsair H150i AIO for $60 each. He even included a couple of case fans for free. Alright guys, it's still the same day, and as I was resting to go to work later, I saw this listing for a RAM, CPU, and GPU combo for $120. I sent him an offer of $80 saying I could pick it up right away since it was on the way to work. And he said if I could do 100, I can pick it up right now. And I said, okay, I'll take it up for 100. So we're going to go there, pick it up, and then I'm going to go to work after. Alright guys, we finished the deal here. Real quick, I'm going to show you guys what we got. We got the Corsair Vengeance DDR4. We got 16GB of RAM, 3000 MHz speed. We got this Ryzen 5 1600 processor. And then we got a RX 580 GPU. Pretty good GPU for 1080p gaming. And all this for $100. The deal was alright. I would have hoped to get it for less because the parts aren't worth that much. I mean, probably on eBay they probably do total up to 100, so it wasn't like amazing deal, but it was just average. What's up guys, it's the next day. I'm currently in my car at 8 a.m. waiting for this deal to happen. We planned to meet up at 9 for this B550 motherboard, but I don't know, this guy has not messaged me a address yet, so I'm scared he's gonna ghost me. His replies have been super short and dry, so I'm not really sure if he's serious in selling it or maybe he's a scammer or something. But right now I'm not sure if that deal's gonna happen, but if it doesn't, we got 2 more deals to do today. We got the Antec 750 watt power supply, which I got for $30. And then I got another deal for a GTX 1660 Super for $85. So if this motherboard deal doesn't happen, it's all right. We got 2 more planned today. But I really do hope that it does go through, because right now we only got Intel motherboards right now, and we got that Ryzen 5 1600 yesterday, and I'm really hoping we can get an AMD motherboard soon. All right, guys, little update. We got the motherboard here. It's 11 a.m. We waited over 2 hours for this deal to happen, and I'm just a little bit frustrated. But it looks brand new. It doesn't look like it's been opened at all, so that's good. We got this for $55, and I think that's a pretty good deal for a B550 motherboard. But again, we'll take a better look at it back at home, and hopefully it actually works. All right, now it's later in the day. I just finished the 2 other deals that we had today. Here's the 1660 Super and then the 750 watt power supply. That's all of the deals we have for today, so let's go home and test these things out. All right, so these are all the items that we got from day 2 and day 3. They're all just on the floor in my room. I did order a couple things on Amazon so we can test the power supplies and stuff, but probably tomorrow we're gonna go and test all of these items out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that none of these are broken. Then later that night, a friend that I've been helping dropped off their old PC and some new parts for an upgrade. They upgraded from an Intel system to an AM5 system and had a lot of parts that they couldn't reuse. So I had the idea to buy their old parts at a fair price. It was around 4 a.m. when I finished, so we'll have to wait till tomorrow for their answer. Alright guys, it's actually the end of day 4. I really didn't do that much today because I just wanted to rest, because we did a lot of driving the last 2 days. But we did secure another deal on Facebook Market for a new computer case, which makes 3 computer cases that we have for this challenge, which is enough for the goal. That's also not the only thing that we did today. We also did secure a deal for those old computer parts from the computer I just built, and you won't believe how much I got it for. So all the things in here that we got includes a motherboard. It's not a B650 motherboard, it's actually a different board in here. We just used the box for it, but we got a motherboard, CPU, RAM, power supply, a cooler, and a GPU, all for $100, which is crazy. You know, that just shows how OP it is to ask friends for their old parts, because they'll just cut you some really good deals, just like what I just got. Alright, so I don't have a table set up right now, and it's way too late in the night for me to even set it up. It's just not worth, so I'm just gonna unbox all of this on the floor. So out of that $100 deal, we got this Corsair 650 watt power supply. It's fully modular, which is awesome. And then we got this Corsair H100i, I think, cooler. So this didn't have any fans with it because they went into that new build I built for them. So we're gonna have to use those extra fans I got from the other deal to put it on here, which will be fine because they're all Corsair fans. And then in this B650 box isn't a B650 like I said. It's actually, let's get it out. It's actually an Intel board. I do not know what it's called. What is it called? Asus Prime B560 Plus. That's the motherboard that we got. And the processor, we got a i5 10600KF. And we also got these black Vengeance RGB Pro RAM. These are 16GB kit, and it's at 3200 megahertz. And then last but not least, the GPU. They got a 4070, but what we got is we got their old Wi-Fi card that they used in their old PC. We got their old 1060. I think it's the Asus GTX 1060 3GB. Not the best, to be honest. 3GB is not a lot of VRAM. Normally I wouldn't buy a 3GB card, but since it was such a good deal and in this bundle, might as well just get it. Normally I would aim for like a 6GB or 8GB. You know, those are like 6GB is the lowest I'd go, but hey, it was a good price. Also, it's white, so it'll look really nice in the white cases that we have. Right now the plan is probably we're gonna use this 1063GB for the entry-level PC, and everything else that came in this bundle will probably be used for the higher end. And when I say higher end, I don't mean like a 4080 or like a 4090. It's more like probably like a mid-tier, like a 3070, something like that. But if we could find a 3070 for cheap, we'll probably put those together. But we'll see what happens next week. On day 2, I did order some things on Amazon just for extra computer parts that we were gonna need, and it just came in today. And we got some thermal compound for the CPUs. We bought a Thermalright. We got a Thermalright cooler here that we're gonna put into a white build. And then we bought this power supply tester, and hopefully I can figure out how this works and I can test out all the power supplies that we got. Since it's already late at night for day 4, I think I'm just gonna test the power supplies that we got right now. So the 1000 watt and the 750 watt and the 650 watt. We're gonna make sure all those are working, and then probably tomorrow I'll get some workbenches set up and test all the other components, and hopefully everything works. So I actually don't know how this works, like I said before, so we're gonna figure out how to use this together. Let's just open this up real quick. There's a little note card in here. That's the manual. Alright, I think I understand how to use this. Let's test the Corsair one first, just because this one should be working, because it came from a working computer. So it'll be a good test for us to do. So first I got to plug in the 24 pin into this right here, and that should power it on. Turn it on. Nani? All right, let's see there, briquet. Okay, it works. Okay. I wonder why the 24 pin was beeping for the Corsair one, the 650 watt, but I mean, the other pins were working fine. Try it one more time, because it came from a working PC, so I'm not sure if it's morally right to use this and sell, but we will test some more. Yeah, the value's still beeping. That 130 ms. Do not know what that means. For now, we won't use this power supply. I'll probably just look up what it means, these values, and see if this is not giving up enough power or too much power. I guess that's it for testing for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow. So it's day 7 of the challenge, and we got a bunch of Amazon stuff to unbox, so let's just unbox all of them on camera. All these packages came in around like day 5, day 6. I was just waiting for all of them to come in before I unboxed it all. But now that they're all here, let's see what we ordered. First package, we got 3 of the M.2 SSDs that I've ordered. We got it's a Team Group MP44L. 500 gigabytes. They were $38 each. Next package, we got, ooh, it's kind of beat up a bit. We got the Thermalright RGB fan. We're gonna put these fans into the Fantex case that we got earlier this week. Since the inside of the white case is black, it also has a black fan, so might as well just match it up. Our next item, ARGB splitters, just in case. These are just in case purchase, just in case we need it in the future. Got a bunch in here. We got a bunch of case screws, because I realized buying used cases on Facebook Market, they usually don't come with screws, and honestly that's kind of a bummer. I'm starting to think I just might as well just buy new cases instead of buying these used cases on Facebook Market, just because of the hassle. So maybe for week 2, when we get more parts, I'll probably just buy a new case instead. So we also got some fan splitters just in case also. I got 2 of those. And the last one. Is that it? Damn. It's a big package for one item. We got also another set of Thermalright fans. These are just black. No RGB. These are probably gonna go into the NZXT case I have laying around. So those are all the Amazon purchases that we got today. Earlier today, I went out and got another Facebook deal. We got a motherboard for that Ryzen 5 1600 that we got earlier this week. And we also made another deal for some RAM sticks. We got some G-Skill Trident Z RGB sticks. They are 16 gigabytes at 3600 megahertz. And the motherboard was $60. It was advertised as open box. And I was really desperate to get a motherboard because I couldn't find any B450 motherboards on the Facebook market. So I think probably for the next 3 weeks, maybe I'll just start looking at different avenues, maybe eBay, Amazon Warehouse, Mercari, just something else other than Facebook Market, because this was $60 and I could have got the second version of this, because this was the, this is the Prime B450 MA, and the Prime B450 MA2 was $74 new. So this was $14 less, and I'm pretty sure if I went on Amazon Warehouse, I probably could have gotten the V2 for around the same price as this one. All right, now that we got all of our parts to build all 3 computers, we're just gonna start testing everything, and hopefully everything works. If not, I'll let you guys know. All right, before I start building, I just want to show you guys how I've been organizing everything. So I have this Google sheet here, and I just have what I bought on each day just to keep track for when I make the video. And then here are the builds that I'm planning to do with hypothetical price. These prices aren't final, but it's just there for now. All these eBay sold are the average that I've seen. They fluctuate a lot, so I tried my best to get a fair price, a conservative price. You know, you can see that this is 361. I'm trying to sell it for 400. You know, I'm just putting a building fee or whatever, trying to make as much profit as possible, but also giving myself enough wiggle room so that if people do try to negotiate, I still hit the eBay mark. So let's say I put this up for $400. I hope I can get it for $400, but I'm okay with also going down to $350 because that is around the area of what eBay would be, and I'd still be making profit since I only paid out $151 for this. Alright guys, I just finished testing all of the motherboards, CPUs, GPUs, and RAM, and they all are working just fine. Here are the setups that we got. We got the 16 gigabyte Corsair Black RGB Vengeance here, paired up with the i5-10 600KF. And then we got this one right here, our white build right here. We got the white RGB Corsair Vengeance. And then we got a i5 7400 with this motherboard. And then we got the open box B450 MA with these Corsair 16 gigabyte Vengeance with the 1600. With everything working now, we can finally put all these into their cases. But right now it's 3:50 a.m. and I think I should head to bed before doing all this. So we'll save all the computer stuff for tomorrow.
For our first PC, we are going to be using this old NZXT H510 case that used to house my main rig, but now it's retired, so I'll be using it for this PC flip. Since I've owned this PC case for well over 4 years, I'm going to make the cost of the case $0. We'll be removing these ASUS RGB fans and replacing them with one of the free fans that we got and some of the Thermaltake black fans. For the motherboard setup, we have the i5-6400, which was the Intel CPU that I mentioned in day 2. It will be cooled with the Thermalright Assassin X, and the RAM that we're going to be using is the 16GB 3200 MHz white Corsair kit, and we'll be installing one of the MP44L as the main drive, and they're all going to be on the MSI H270 Tomahawk Arctic. Powering the system is the Antec 750 watt power supply, and unfortunately it's non-modular, so it's going to be a little tight. For the GPU, we're going to be installing this white Asus GTX 1060 3GB card, and as you can tell by the quality of the parts of this build, it is quite old, so this PC will be checked off as the starter / entry level PC of the challenge.
Alright, the PC's up and running. It is alive down here. And right now we're just updating Windows. After this is done, I'm gonna install some games, see how it runs, get how much FPS it gets, and so I can put it on the advertisement. It is getting a little close to work time, so I'm probably gonna save and do the other PC either tomorrow or later tonight. but we'll see how long it takes for me to stress test this PC. Alright guys, I'm back home from work and I've decided to put off building the other computer and stress testing the PCs. I'm just feeling a little bit down right now because you know how I told you guys I wanted to explore the eBay market. Well, I put in a bunch of bids on some items I wanted to get for other PC builds, and I put my max bid and I made the mistake of putting it too high and not accounting the shipping costs and tax, and I ended up paying way too much for them. I'll show you guys the breakdown of the costs and what I purchased. Alright, you guys can see what I got. So we got a Ryzen 7 3700X here. We paid $84 for that, and I'm pretty sure we want it for $74, so tax and shipping was an additional 10, which isn't too bad. But this one right here, for this one we paid 236 for a 3060, which is not too great because there are people getting 3070s for this price. We won this for 207, and then shipping and tax brought it up all the way to 236, so that was not a good play. We also got some power supplies here, but those weren't too bad. So we got this 5600X here. We got it for $107. We actually won this for $84, and tax and shipping made it up to $107, which is another L because we could have got a 5600 and a 5600G for $90 each, you know, without tax and shipping. So this is another L. Now, not all of these are like pretty much average buys, you know. I bought them for around what they go for on eBay, so that's not totally bad, but I would have liked to get it cheaper, like the 3060 and the 5600X. For the 3060, I don't even think the average sold for those are even close to 236. I think it's around like 200, 210, so we might be taking a loss on that. I'm just feeling a little bit discouraged, you know. It's just a small financial mistake, you know. I'm not going to lose that much profit from this, but it's just, you know, I should have known. I should have taken account how much shipping was and tax. So these are going to be coming in next week, and we'll be putting these into another build that we're going to flip. And you guys might be thinking like, Kelly, aren't you just flipping 3 PCs? Isn't that the goal? Yeah, 3 PCs is the goal, but you know, if we build more PCs, we'll for sure, actually not for sure, but there's a higher chance that we'll sell 3 PCs if we have like 5 or 6, you know? I'm just trying to get enough PCs on my page so that people can have like a list they can go through which one they wanted to buy. I think I'm just gonna go through my spreadsheets and put in what I just bought on eBay and then see what combinations we can get. I'm really hoping that we can get these PCs sold for the lowest that I take. I'm really worried about the lower end PCs just because the GPUs aren't really that great, and for the price that I'm selling them at, like people are selling 2060 Supers, 2060 PCs for those prices, and I don't even see those selling. On Facebook Market, I saw a guy selling a Ryzen 5 and a 2060 for I think $450, and that's been up for a couple weeks now and no one's bought it yet. And I'm just a little worried that when I put my thing up on Facebook Market, people are gonna be like super put off on it, or maybe they just like a super lowball me just because the GPUs aren't that great. And I do think if I do get those PCs sold in the next week or so, I think the next PCs I would aim to sell would have to just have 3060s and 3070s, just for me to have like comfortable profits and like not have PCs just sitting in my house for like 2 months. And the only time I would take a lower end GPUs is probably if it's included into a really nice bundle. This is the update for tonight. I think I'm gonna head to bed. I'm kind of tired. And I'll finish the PCs tomorrow, and hopefully we can get them up in the next 2 days.
On the morning of day 9, a PC case that I had ordered on Amazon came in damaged, so we're gonna have to get this replaced. But that's okay, because we have another case that was delivered today, and that one came unscratched. The case that we'll be using for the next build is the DIY PC Q3 that I got on Newegg. The motherboard setup for this build has the Ryzen 1600 cooled with the stock cooler, 16GB of 3000MHz Corsair RAM, and a MP44L M.2, which are all going to be on the Asus Prime B450MA. Powering the system for now is the Corsair RM650 PSU, just to test if the power supply is reliable. And for the GPU, we are putting in the SFX RX 580 8GB card. And fun fact, this is going to be the first time I'm using an AMD card. The monitor did show a black screen for a while, but it did end up booting up on the first try.
Hi guys, it's the next day, and last night I did some switching around. I looked at the spreadsheet. I was looking at all the power supplies, and honestly, the wattages for some of these computers don't really make sense. Like, I don't think I should be putting the 750 watt in one of the weakest computers. I think we should take that 70 watt power supply out of the i5 1060 computer and leave it for the 1660 super computer, or maybe like the 3060 that's coming later. But we got two sets of RGB fans. One of them is going to be going into the NZXT case over here, and this one we're going to save for later, just in case, because we do have two white cases, and I'm not sure if I want to use the RGB fans. So we'll just keep this to the side. We don't end up using it, we can just always return it. And then we also got some white cable extensions here. I think I'll be putting this into the NZXT one just to sell it a little bit more, make it look nice, but we'll see. And then this is the, I think, the 600 watt power supply that we got off of eBay. So we'll open this up, and then I'm pretty sure this is going to be going into a system today. So the plan right now is that we're going to take out the 650 watt from this computer here, just because we only use it just to see how it's going to look. We're going to take it out, we're going to save it for the other build. We're going to keep it as a bundle with the other stuff, and then we're going to be putting this 600 watt power supply into here, and then we'll take out the 750 watt out of that, save that for the we're going to save that for the 1660 super build, and then we're going to take the 550 watt and put it in there. And my thought process for these power supply switches is that I think the 600 watt would fit better into this system here, just because if people want to upgrade the system, it's really easy. So they just gotta get a new CPU, get a new GPU, and then the power supply should hold. And then with the Intel system, most of it, if you're gonna upgrade, you're gonna replace everything anyway, so you might as well replace the power supply. So that's why we have the 550 in there. And I think that just makes sense in my head, but yeah, you guys let me know what you guys think.
With both PCs done now, I can take some pictures and videos to put on the Facebook listing. I also needed to take some gaming benchmarks to put on the listing, and at the time of the recording, these three games were the most popular in my opinion. So we recorded Fortnite, Valorant, and Apex Legends. And these three games are going to be the baseline for every benchmark we're going to do for the PCs. And later on, as other games get popular, we will also use those games for benchmarking. Alright, so I've been working on the Facebook listing here, and I was looking at other people's... Why are you interrupting me? And I was looking at other people's listings for examples, and this is what I came up with. I just have some basic info, making sure the price is there with the or best offer, no trades, and then just putting our benchmarks for everything here. And then we have our specs, and then a disclaimer because it does not have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth built in. And at the very bottom, I have a little service for any commissions if anyone would want to reach out to me for that. As days passed by, all I got were bot messages, and I started to wonder if people were even in the market for these kind of PCs. Was I dumb to try this challenge in such a competitive area? Did I make a mistake? Did I waste my time and money? Should I just give up before I get too deep? All these questions filled my head, and only time will give me the answer.